For those of you who are concerned about whether or not I have started working on the green barbecue dress, don't you worry, I just cut out the pattern last night and I washed my couture fabric. What is couture, you may ask? Now don't feel bad if you don't know what it is. I didn't know about it until I went to grad school, and by that point I had already been working in the fashion and film theater industries for like 8 years. Couture is a tightly woven, durable, and stiff fabric that is often made from 100% cotton. It is known for its herringbone weave, which adds strength and prevents the fabric from stretching out of shape, making it ideal for corsets and stays as they're worn over time and they wear into the body and not out. Now, why is it important to wash and properly iron your fabrics before starting any project? Let me tell you. Because although my personal approach to costume making for myself is more Bob Ross-and vibes, you do need to understand fabric in order to have a successful design at the end of the day. I hearken it to being like a jazz musician. You need to know musical theory, and then once you know the rules, you can go ahead and bend them and use them to your own needs. But properly prepping and ironing your fabric is key to successful design. Post-washing, when prepping your fabric for cutting and sewing, attention to ironing and the grain lines is crucial for several reasons. And proper preparation ensures that your garment or your project will have both a professional finish, fit well, and it will maintain its shape over time throughout washing. So here's why each aspect is important. Washing and then ironing your fabric aids in the accuracy of your cutting process. Obviously, ironing removes the wrinkles and it gives you a smooth and flat surface with which to work, and this ensures that your pattern pieces are cut accurately on grain. This is crucial for when you are finally putting your pieces together and sewing them. Ironing also corrects the true fabric shape. Many fabrics can become distorted and stretched during the manufacture and shipping process, but let's not also forget that just storing them somewhere will also warp your fabrics as well. Washing will also correct any potential shrinkage or warping from happening after the garment is sewn, and the ironing restores the fabric to its true grain lines. A washed and well-prepped fabric eases the sewing process. Many makers will say sewing is sort of the last steps of the garment making process and might be one of the least important, even though it does take the fabric from a 2D form into a 3D form. But many say that ironing might be the most important because regularly ironing the fabric throughout your process, the seams, the hems, etc., it will give your garment a professional finish as well. When ironing, I like to tap into the meditative process of the action. I start by ironing along the grain lines, moving along either the warp or the weft and then the bias lines, using the iron in my hands to reshape the fabric into a perfect square. You can use a ruler for extreme accuracy, and if you have a plain weave, you can also remove threads to help guide you. For the couture, I just folded it in half and made sure that all of the edges aligned up with each other to create that perfect 90-degree angles. Ignoring grain lines when you're ironing, placing and cutting the fabric and sewing it will result in an ill-fitting, warped garment. Now, please don't come for me for my little iron. I'm a big believer in it's the artist, not the tool. Having the best of the best is ideal, but not achievable for most, and it is important to learn how to manipulate fabric with a mouse-sized iron to a gravity industrial iron. Just look at Bob Ross. He painted with chip brushes. Those are so cheap, and he made beautiful works of art with them. Now, another pro tip is to also spray your fabric with water lightly. It will help remove those stubborn wrinkles and stretch your fabric as you need. It really does work like a charm. Obviously, the heavier the iron, it does help make the process go faster, but we can use our sheer brute strength. We are strong. So I prepped both my couture and a medium weight plain weave cotton. The plain weave cotton I'm going to use for my mock-up, and if all goes well in the fitting process, I can utilize that corset as a lightweight training piece. Sometimes we use this technique in theater to allow an actor to get used to wearing a corset, but it's also a great option so you can have a medium weight and a heavyweight corset for a variety of uses. I like making a mock-up out of a fabric that I like, so that way at the end of the day, I'll have 2 corsets instead of 1. And it's a perfect option for a lightweight summer corset as well.